Have you ever had a feeling in the pit of your stomach that someone's intense attention towards you feels less like admiration and more like ownership? That their love doesn't feel warm but heavy, smothering, and almost terrifying? What if that person isn't just in love with you or deeply interested? What if they are truly pathologically obsessed? This isn't about casual dating red flags. This is about the chilling, specific signs that a narcissist has fixated on you as their primary source of supply. Knowing the difference isn't just interesting, it's crucial for your emotional and sometimes even physical safety. Stay with me, because in this video, we're breaking down the 10 undeniable signs a narcissist is obsessed with you. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we dive deep into psychology, toxic relationships, and the path to healing. If you're new here, consider subscribing for weekly insights. Today's topic is critical. When we hear the word obsession, we might think of romantic movies or persistent suitors. But in the world of narcissistic personality disorder, obsession takes on a much darker meaning. It's not about loving you for who you are. It's about needing you for what you provide. Attention, admiration, validation, and control. You are reduced to an object, a resource to be managed and consumed. This obsession is born from a profound emptiness within the narcissist, a black hole of self-worth that they believe you can fill. By the end of this video, you will have a clear framework to identify this behavior, which is the first and most powerful step toward protecting yourself. Let's get into the first sign. Okay, sign number 1, and it's a big one. Extreme love bombing and idealization. This is the hallmark opening move. But when a narcissist is obsessed, the love bombing isn't just enthusiastic. It's overwhelming, accelerated, and feels almost surreal. It's designed to disorient you and hook you deeply before your logical mind can catch up. The love bomb is a tactical weapon. A narcissist doesn't have the patience or the genuine emotional capacity for a slow build. They need to secure your devotion quickly. They will pour on intense affection, flattery, gifts, and constant communication. You are put on a pedestal and labeled their soulmate, twin flame, or perfect one, astonishingly fast, sometimes within days or weeks. This feels incredible. Who doesn't want to be adored? But the key is to understand why they do it. It's not because they see your true, multifaceted self. They are in love with an idealized fantasy they have projected onto you. They are obsessed with this fantasy and with the feelings you generate in them. You, as a real person with flaws, needs, and boundaries, do not exist in this phase. The obsession is with the version of you that perfectly serves them. Think about it. They text you all day, every day. They show up with expensive gifts for no reason. They tell you they've never felt this way before on the third date. They talk about moving in together, marriage, and children before you've even met each other's friends. This overwhelming rush is a calculated strategy to create a trauma bond, a powerful emotional attachment built on intermittent reinforcement. They are building the highest high so that the eventual low, the devaluation, is more effective and keeps you trapped. This leads us perfectly into sign number 2. They see you as an extension of themselves, not your own person. A healthy relationship is a partnership between two whole independent individuals. A narcissist's obsessed relationship is a dictatorship. Because they see you as an object, the most prized object in their collection, they believe you belong to them. Your identity, your choices, your style, and your achievements are not your own. They are merely reflections of them. Your success is their success because they chose you. Your beauty is a credit to their taste. Your personality is something they feel they own and can mold. This is a complete erasure of your autonomy. The obsession is with controlling the narrative of who you are, ensuring you always perfectly complement their own self-image. They might get genuinely angry or give you the silent treatment if you get a haircut or buy an outfit without their approval. They might introduce you to their friends by saying, "Isn't she gorgeous? I have such great taste," making your appearance about them. If you get a promotion at work, they might say, "That's great for us," or "I knew my support would pay off," instead of celebrating you. They see your entire existence through the lens of how it serves and reflects upon them. Which brings us to the third sign: pervasive jealousy and possessiveness. If you are an extension of them, then any outside influence is a threat. An obsessed narcissist will exhibit irrational, all-consuming jealousy. This isn't the fleeting, slightly insecure jealousy anyone might feel. It's a paranoid conviction that you are always on the verge of betraying them. They are obsessed with the idea of losing their control over you. They view every person in your life, friends, family, co-workers, even the barista who smiles at you, as a competitor for your attention, which they believe is rightfully theirs and theirs alone. They might constantly accuse you of flirting with others. They will demand to know who you're texting, getting angry if you don't reply instantly. They may insist you stop seeing certain friends, often using manipulative language like, "They're a bad influence on you," or "They just want to break us up." They might show up unannounced at places you said you'd be to check on you. This possessiveness is a clear sign of their obsession with controlling your entire world. This need for control is why sign number 4 is so common. They isolate you from your support system. An obsessed narcissist cannot tolerate any competing loyalties. To fully control you, they need to be your sole source of validation, advice, and emotional support. This makes you dependent on them and much easier to manipulate. The isolation is rarely overt at first. It's a slow, insidious process of driving wedges between you and everyone else you care about. They will criticize your friends, create drama with your family, and make you feel guilty for spending time with anyone but them. The obsession is with having you all to themselves, creating a closed system where their reality is the only one that exists. They might say things like, "Your sister is so manipulative. I can't believe you don't see it." Or, "Your friends are just jealous of what we have." They might pick a fight every time you have plans to go out, so eventually you stop making plans to avoid the conflict. They might frame their isolation tactics as concern, "I just want to protect you from negative people." Over time, your world gets smaller and smaller until it only contains them. Now, what happens when you try to leave that small world? You encounter sign number 5. They hoover and can't let you go. The term hoovering comes from the Hoover vacuum cleaner, sucking you back in. Even if you break up, go no contact, or finally pull away, an obsessed narcissist will find a way to reappear. They cannot tolerate the narcissistic injury of being rejected and the loss of their primary source of supply. Their obsession means they see you as their property, and they will not let go easily. Hoovering can take many forms: fake apologies, sudden declarations of love, playing the victim, triangulation, using a new person to make you jealous, or even creating fake emergencies to elicit your sympathy. Months after a breakup and no contact, you get a text. "I've been in therapy. I've changed. You're the only one who ever understood me." They might like all your old social media photos or send a gift to your house. This isn't about love. It's about reasserting control and reclaiming what they believe is theirs. It's the obsession of refusing to be starved. In the digital age, this hoovering is facilitated by sign number 6. They monitor your every move, cyberspace stalking. An obsessed narcissist has an insatiable need for information about you. It fuels their sense of control. They will become a digital detective, meticulously watching your online activity. They note who likes your posts, who you follow, what stories you watch, and any tiny change in your behavior. They use this information to hoover, to manipulate, to guilt trip, or to fuel their paranoia. You may feel constant, invisible eyes on you because there are. They might confront you about a comment someone left on your Instagram photo from 3 weeks ago. Who is this Mark? Why is he calling you beautiful? They might notice you watched their Instagram story from a burner account. They might use information from your posts to craft a perfect hoovering message. "I saw you went to that coffee shop we used to love. I miss those times." In extreme cases, They might use spyware or tracking apps on your phone. This digital surveillance is a stark sign of a pathological obsession. All of this monitoring feeds into sign number 7. They create a false sense of intimacy, trauma dumping, and future faking. A narcissist's obsession requires depth, or the illusion of it. To fast-track your emotional investment, they use 2 powerful tools: trauma dumping and future faking. Trauma dumping. They share deeply personal, often tragic stories from their past very early on. This is designed to trigger your empathy and caregiver instinct. You feel special that they've trusted you with this information, and it creates a powerful but false sense of bonding. Future faking. They paint vivid, detailed pictures of a future together: the house you'll buy, the trips you'll take, the life you'll build. They are obsessed with the fantasy of this future because it's perfect and they are in complete control of the narrative. They have no intention of following through. The promise itself is just a tool to keep you hooked. On a second date, they might share a story about a deeply abusive childhood, making you feel incredibly sorry for them and connected to them. They might then say, "I can already tell you're the one. I can't wait to take you to Italy next summer. I've already been looking at villas." This combination of manufactured vulnerability and manufactured future is incredibly potent and manipulative. However, the moment you show any real independence, you see sign number 8. They can't tolerate your independence. The narcissist's obsession demands enmeshment, not partnership. Any sign of you having a separate identity, hobbies, friends, thoughts, or happiness that does not directly involve them is perceived as a direct threat. It reminds them that you are a separate human being outside of their control. This will be met not with encouragement but with punishment. They will use tactics like the silent treatment, rage, condescension, or guilt-tripping to punish you for your independence and bring you back in line. If you have a great day out with your friends, instead of being happy for you, they will be sulky and withdrawn, forcing you to comfort them. If you have a hobby you're passionate about, they will dismiss it as a waste of time or interfere with the time you dedicate to it. Your joy, when not sourced from them, is an affront to their control. Their obsession requires you to be an orbiting planet, not a separate sun. To maintain this control, they employ sign number 9. They try to control how you see yourself, gaslighting. This is perhaps the most insidious sign. Gaslighting is a systematic attempt to make you doubt your own perception, memory, and sanity. An obsessed narcissist must control your reality to maintain their own. If you start to see their behavior for what it is, they will rewrite history, deny things they clearly said or did, and blame you for their reactions. The goal is to make you so unsure of yourself that you become completely reliant on their version of events. Their obsession with control extends into the very fabric of your mind. After a brutal yelling episode, they might say, "I never yelled. You're too sensitive. You're actually the one who's abusive and you made me react that way." They might promise to do something and then later flatly deny ever saying it, making you question your own memory. They will tell you your feelings are irrational or crazy. Over time, this erodes your self-trust, making it harder to leave. Finally, the most important sign is the one you feel in your body. Sign 10. You feel a constant sense of dread, not excitement. This is the ultimate internal barometer. Healthy love and interest feel light, exciting, and safe. A narcissist's obsession feels heavy, anxious, and draining. You are constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, carefully monitoring your words and actions to avoid setting them off. Their attention doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like a burden. This pervasive sense of anxiety and dread is your intuition screaming at you that you are in danger. It is your psyche recognizing the obsession for what it is, a threat. When you see their name pop up on your phone, your stomach clenches with anxiety, not butterflies. You feel relieved when they cancel plans. You find yourself making excuses for their behavior to your friends because you're too ashamed to admit how awful it feels. You feel more lonely and isolated in the relationship than you ever did out of it. This feeling is the most important sign of all. Trust it. If you recognize several of these signs in your relationship, please know this: your feelings are valid. What you are experiencing is not love. It's the toxic obsession of a person who sees you as an object to be used for their own validation. This is not your fault. You did not cause this. Narcissistic obsession is a reflection of their internal emptiness, not your worth. But now that you can name it, you can start to address it. Your number one priority is your safety, emotional and physical. Trust your gut. That feeling of dread is your best guide. Stop doubting yourself. Set firm boundaries. If you are still in the situation, start setting non-negotiable boundaries. This might be around your time, your phone, or your friends. Be prepared for them to be violated, which tells you everything you need to know. Seek support. Reconnect with the people you've been isolated from. Talk to a therapist or counselor who specializes in narcissistic abuse. You need a reality check and a support system they cannot control. Consider no contact. The most effective way to break free from an obsessed narcissist is often to go completely no contact. Block them on everything. Change your routines. It is incredibly difficult, but it is the only way to break the trauma bond and begin to heal. You deserve a love that is light, free, and respectful, not one that feels like a prison of obsession. This is a lot to process. If you found this helpful and you're ready to understand what happens when the obsession cycle breaks, please watch my next video on the narcissistic discard phase right here. Understanding the discard is key to breaking the trauma bond for good. If this video helped you see your situation clearly, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel. And if you have experiences or insights you'd like to share, please leave a comment below. There is a huge community of people here who understand and can offer support. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more content on navigating toxic relationships and healing your sense of self. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you are not alone. Stay strong.